Could not. Yo, yo, Cook's 24 in the house. It's Woo Wednesday. We got a dope interview today. Turn this down a little bit. Bumping that DJ Tiger in the back, you know what I mean? Hope everybody is doing okay today. What's going on? Naaman the Drawman, OG in the house, my bro. Boy, big bro. You know what I'm saying? What's happening? What's going on? We up in here, man, getting ready to get this started today. And so it'll be a good talk today, man. You know, OG Green Lance in the house. You already know, OG, what I'm doing. Every time I see you, I gotta. What's going on, Josh, man? Know what I'm saying? Little bro Josh in the house. What's going on, man? Know what I'm saying? Thank you for tuning in for a little bit. We're getting ready to talk to Narada Comics from Mr. David from Austin, Texas. He got a dope book. You know what I'm saying? He getting his Kickstart on. You know what I'm saying? He got a real dope book coming out. Finna drop, I believe, February 14th. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. You know what I mean? Get the 1411 on it. Some of the other stuff that he worked on. You know, we got a little bone around at the end. You know what I'm saying? Let me share this out to a few friends of mine that I know dig books and stuff like that. I sent it to the group, OG, so if you get that message, don't worry about it. But you already up in here. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to keep on rolling, yo. You know? Rocket Punch. Rocket Punch. I got to holler at Rocket Punch, too. Rocket Punch, I got to holler at you, too. I know you got some. I be looking at your page, man. You got some dope stuff, man. I be peeping, bro. Be peeping. You know what I'm saying? Rocket Punch. You know what I mean? You got some dope stuff I be seeing on your page, man. You know what I mean? But we're gonna get into once the rider, Mr. David. Let me hit him up one time, just in case. You know what I'm saying? But how everybody doing today? I hope everybody woke up with the positive mind today to get it done, get it complete. Narada, I see you in the house. I'm about to hit that button. I hope everybody's having a good day today. I hope you have a good start to your day today. Ain't nothing wrong with a little positive push. Yeah, I'm definitely fit to yeah, we're gonna get into that too. He sent me some of his promo stuff and I was able to look at it, but it's better to let the person who created it explain it. You know what I'm saying? So, Narada, here I come. I see you. Bing. Dang, did I hit the button? There you go.
Hey,
Yo. What's up, man?
how you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right, my brother. How about yourself, man?
Hanging in there, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's all we can do, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all we can do, man. For real. So, hey, first time meeting you, man. So I want to say thank you so much for giving me a chance to speak with you.
Yeah.
For the people that follow you, too, thank y'all for tuning in and supporting. You know what I'm saying? Your friend, the man right here, Mr. Nevada. Under Narada called Mr. David.
Yeah.
My bad, Mr. David.
It's all good.
Now, how you say the last part? Because I don't want to mess that up.
Narita comment.
Narita comment. See, I knew I was saying it wrong. I'm sorry. I hate.
I'm probably mispronouncing it too, man. I have no idea. I just started trying to find out names for mermaids because that's what the comic book's about. But yeah, so.
Okay, and let me get my pen. And now your name, Mr. David. I know your last name kind of. I couldn't say it. How you say it?
Try and say it. I like to. I like to
Mr.
mess it up.
David. Cause I see the little thing comma mark up under there, so I know that A is different. So is it Luan?
It's Luhan. So it's
Luhan.
Spanish. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Lujan, Mr. David Lujan. Okay, I don't like messing up brother's name. I hate doing that. I don't like.
Well, I
So
spent my entire life in throughout school getting my name screwed up, so it's okay. It's fine. And if you
yeah,
can't laugh
okay.
at yourself, who can you laugh at, right? You know what I
You,
mean?
that's right. That's right. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Well, I am always cooking. My name is LeBron, but I go by Cooks. So and that's easy. You
Yeah,
can't forget Cooks. So
yeah,
I'm always Cooks 24. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Tuning in and tuning out. You know what I'm saying? I know this is the middle part of the day, so some folks at work, some folks on break, but you can always watch the replay and support Mr. David and support. Hold on, say it one more time. How you say
Narita,
it?
Narita
Narita.
comic.
Okay. Narita. The high E. Narita. Narita. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So, lesser known comics. That's who you run with. I
Yeah,
know I've seen that before, but I didn't know that there was a company. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know that they was. I didn't know that there was more. Like when it comes to the indies, it seems like you find something new every day. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So I would like to start with asking you, about how long have you been with lesser known comics, or how long have you been writing for them, or are you part of the lesser known comics team?
At this point, yeah. So I hooked up with Mark Bernal, who's the head of Lesser Known Comics,
Okay.
last like September or a little bit like last summer, basically. And I just kind of sent him a stupid message and stumbled into it. I said, "Hey, I draw and I write. You wanna put out my comic book?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course." I had a We just did a comic last September that's done with its fulfillment. The Kickstarter went great for a
Hmm.
comic called Yuriko about a vampire.
Yes, sir.
Uh, and I sent you a copy of that. I don't know if
Yes.
you read it.
Yes.
And this is the second one that I'll be doing with them, co-promoting basically through the Kickstarter campaign and all that kind of stuff. And this one's about my mermaid. It's like a total different thing. It's in color. It's not like dark noir. It is still kind of creepy. I'm going for
Hmm.
that kind of creepy vibe, but you know, yeah. So, Lesser Known Comics is a publisher. They got a whole bunch of other different books in their
Yeah,
roster
I
too.
noticed.
So,
I noticed. What I like, their motto, treating artists like humans since 2020. I caught that on their Facebook page, and that's a big statement. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they're giving the writers, authors, whatever part you play in the creation, your chance to shine. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Uh,
absolutely. Yeah.
and I dig that. I dig that. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the ones who won't give you a chance, don't worry about them. Just come on over here, and we're gonna push you to the end of the road. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And fuck 'em.
It's 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 very, very grassroots. So like we get together and have like a creator huddle every 2 weeks, and we all kind of talk to each other about what we got going on, like what comic cons we're going to be doing, like what's going on with each other's books, uh, which Kickstarters are coming up next, how we can help cross promote with each other. I'm supposed to go
Mhm.
meet with this guy, Ray Garza, who illustrates Tank McGregor. It's another comic book that
Mm,
came out with LKC. Supposed to go have a
okay.
beer with him in a little while. We're gonna like plot the scheme on how to next steps and all the stuff. So
Okay.
it's real cool.
Uh, just to show people, look for that. It's coming. Y'all know. That's it. Can't let y'all see this part because that's for me. You know what I'm saying? That's the exclusive. I got the exclusive, so y'all can't see that. You know what I'm saying? Now, so let me ask you this. This comic series that you put together, Narita, um, what made you go towards the mermaid character? And she's a heroine too, right?
Yes, yeah.
Female hero. So what made you go with the mermaid character?
The uh the mermaid idea came about this kind of weird. So
Hmm.
I don't really I mean I'm not like a fantasy kind of person. I'm not all like elves and J.R.R. Tolkien and The Hobbit and all that kind of stuff. Like that's cool. I don't have a problem with it, but I'm not
Hmm.
steeped in that lore or anything. And so a friend of mine to poke fun at me gave me a book called Dwarves, Gnomes, and Other Little People. And it reads like nonfiction. It reads like an encyclopedia all about dwarfs and weird, crazy stuff. And it's the perfect book to have sitting right next to your toilet. You know what I'm talking about? when you're just
Yeah, I know
sitting
what you're
there,
saying.
you you want to read something
I know
stupid,
exactly what you
but
mean.
you don't want to just scroll on your phone. So I started reading a lot about mermaids, and there was all these really cool stories that had to do with mermaids and fairies and things like that. And I was like, sure, why not? Let's write. So I drew a character. I drew a picture of a woman next to a cat, and either the cat was huge or the woman was really small, and I couldn't tell which one it was. So then I created like a backstory to figure out how do we get to this point where there's this tiny little person next to this cat, and what are they doing? And they're in the woods and they're hunting birds and all this kind of stuff. And that was years ago. So this is kind of like the reboot where I'm going to do it in full color. I feel like my illustration skills have gotten better over the years, and
Hmm.
yeah, that's so it's I don't know. It's just it's kind of like experimenting with genre
Okay.
and what to do. You know what I mean? So.
How, now, now, when you say that, how long have you been creating this type of content? Like, is this something that you did started as a youngster, and now you're starting to build more? Because I know with life, personal issues come, and sometimes you got to stop and handle
Yeah.
this or handle
Yeah.
that. People move. The dang gone COVID mess that affected all of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like how so. I guess what I'm trying to ask is to sum it all up. When did you know that creating content like this was a serious thing for you, where you want to do it nonstop?
Uh, so I've been drawing comic books and stuff since I was a little kid, and I always wanted to finish a
Okay.
comic book. And I knew that as a youngster, when I was drawing, I could never finish a comic. Like I draw the first page, and I thought, man, this is awesome. It looks professional and all this kind of stuff. And then I would get to page two, and I'd be like, this is hard. It takes forever, and it doesn't look that good. And I would just kind of peter out and not finish. Um, so I guess it was about like 10 years ago. I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I got paper, I got all the pens, and I was doing it analog. You know what I mean? I wasn't drawing on a tablet or anything. Just
Okay.
pen and ink on paper. And my kid was about 3 maybe at the time. Um, Now she's 14,
Wow.
and uh, yeah. So about like yeah, about like 3 years ago, I realized like, man, I really hate my job. Like I was doing construction full time, and I thought this is terrible. I need something else that's a little more creative, you know. So I would wake up every day at like 5 in the morning. I would draw for 2 hours until I had to get the kid ready for school and make breakfast for everybody, and engage in regular life and go to work and do all that stuff.
Hmm.
And then it kind of snowballed, and I kept doing it. And so finally, I felt like I had enough material where I could approach some publishers like LKC and say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. Are you guys interested in having me on board as part of the team?" Last September, first time I've ever published a comic book for real. And I've been making like little pamphlets and little mini comics and black and white comics and Xerox comics and stuff like that for 10 plus years. So, yeah.
Okay. Um. And is it like and what was one of the hardest parts for you trying to get from just doing it for fun and making a plan
Yeah.
hobby to taking it to calling this person or texting this person or emailing these people that's part of these companies? Like, what was one of the biggest rocks that you had to climb over? Because there's some people that still ain't made that move
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's not so much like one big thing that you have to get over. The
Hmm.
whole thing feels like this giant wave that's just gonna like crush you, and you can't get past it, and you're like, oh man, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. So I took the piranha approach. I just
Mm.
took little bites out of it every day. Every day I'd spend like 15, 20 minutes just like engaging with social media, either Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and trying to build a little bit on it. And I would draw for like 30 minutes to an hour, whatever I could get every day. I would try and post as frequently as possible and just
Hmm.
kind of build the social media thing as much as I could. I'm not very good at it, but
Okay.
and that was enough. That's like kind of encouraging to the point where I said, okay, I'm going to build a Kickstarter and I'm going to try and launch a comic book because, hey, why not? What other options do I have? So once I did that, then things dominoes started falling, and people were interested and said, "Hey, man, what do you got coming up next?" And I'm like, "Next? Oh, I don't know. I guess I got to keep going. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's kind of that's kind of what it's been like. Also doing,
Okay.
doing podcasts and like talking to people like you, man, like reaching out to people that I wouldn't normally interact with, man. It's been great. I've met a ton of really cool people, and some of them have been like, "Hey, will you draw my comic book?" And I'm like, "Yes, I will draw your comic book." So,
Oh,
you know,
really?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So which now when you say that, so you do now when it comes to Narita,
Mhm.
did you have a team or was it most of the work on your hands?
It was 100% me. I wrote the
Wow.
whole thing, drew it, colored it, lettered it, did all the stuff. So, yeah.
Oh, wait, that's a lot of work right there. That's work, man. So um, from what you sent me in the drive, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at it, you know what I'm saying? Because I messed up because I when you sent me the information in the drive, you know what I'm saying? I looked at, say if I had four squares, I looked at three of them. But the one that I supposed to look like was the one with the actual story in it, how everything start. I read that this
Yeah.
morning. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a little Wi-Fi phone and then my regular phone, blah blah blah. You know how it go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let me check this out. So book one, landlocked. Let's get into it. What direction was you going in that first part? Like, what is it that you want the readers that read it? What do you want them to get out of that first installment?
So for that first installment, I think the most important thing is to establish the main character, Narita, right? She's a mermaid. She's on land, and somehow she gets trapped there, right? And not to
Hmm.
give too much away, but to kind of I needed to put in a little bit about how like kind of wicked and evil the people on land can be,
Yes.
how brutal they can be with each other,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
and and how scary that could be for somebody who's not from there, right? So
Yes.
by the end of the book, there's supposed to be like a heightened sense of like, oh man, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's left alone. She's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I
I
don't want to give it
I
away,
know what you're saying.
but
I read this. I read this because now I see why when you look at books like this and then flipping the pages, sometimes you can read. Cause I'm kind of I feel like I'm a slow reader.
hey,
You know,
dude.
some people can just and then they
Yeah,
can tell you everything that happened on page 5 and 6. And I'm like, hold on, let me go back. But this right here, I'm like, okay. And without telling it, I was like, yo, like, you know, the what caught me by surprise was the skin. If you know what I'm
yeah,
talking about,
hmm
I didn't know that was going to happen like that. But the readers got to read it.
yeah, yeah,
And the little dirty dude,
yeah. That
he
guy's
can't. Now
good.
that part I understood.
Yeah.
The humans part I understood that. It seemed, I don't want to tell it, but it's a good way. It's a great way, man, that you started that out. Now, um, the the gnomes. How did you? What made you bring the gnomes into, or the
So
little dirty
the little
dude?
dirty dude, he's a nod, right? So
No, okay,
I
no,
found him in that book that the bathroom book that I've been reading, right? The encyclopedia about
okay,
weird little people. A nod is like a, a creepy kind of dwarf character that will like kind of uh, invade your home space. You know, like he'll take over your barn or something like that, and you can't get rid of him. If you do, he'll do something wicked, and nasty, and he'll mess with your crops. He'll poison your cattle. He'll do just terrible stuff, right? So this is that dude. That's what he is. He's been plaguing the farmer in the book or the
oh,
fisherman, right? So they've been trying to get rid of him forever. And they finally, well, you see what happens in the book, but
mm-hmm,
that's who he is. So he's a magical creature. He's in touch with magical realms of stuff and whatever, right? That's how he was able to get those birds to do what he wants them to do. Again, not giving away
mm-hmm,
the story too much, but
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah. So he's the catalyst, right? He's the evil character catalyst that
Okay,
separates Narita from her ability to get home. Because in
mm,
this setting, she as a mermaid has to like put on her mermaid's cloak. It's like a silk. So
yeah,
I'm blending different like mermaid genres and lore and all that kind of stuff. She has to
okay,
on that cloak to be able to go home under the sea. If she doesn't have her cloak, she can't breathe underwater. She can't ever go home. And that's
Mm.
another thing that was from this book too, where like there was a story of a fisherman who found a mermaid's cloak. He kept it, and then he kept the mermaid and said, "Well, why don't you just marry me? Because you can't go back because you lost your mermaid's cloak, so you should just marry me." And she reluctantly said yes. She ended up having like 3 kids with him, and then finally one of her kids found her cloak, her mermaid's cloak, gave it back to her, and she just dipped. She was like, "I love you, but peace. I'm going back to my other family. I'll see you later." She just took off into the ocean, but he had kept her trapped on land. So there's all these weird little stories like that that I found that I wanted to kind of tie in to make this kind of original, but a nod to the old school, you know?
Okay. Down here in the pinned comments, Iman Cowan wants to know: is there any connection with the trady little tradition? I guess he's saying trady little mermaid. Is
The
that right? I
traditional
guess
Little Mermaid,
traditional. I guess is what he's saying. He must have misspelled, but yes, sir.
yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's because the original Little Mermaid was a Hans Christian Andersen story, and
Oh,
it was wicked. I mean, it was mean and nasty, and everybody was horrible to each other. I mean, it was not like the thing you've seen on Disney, where the scariest thing is Ursula and she's dancing around,
right.
and she's scary, but uh, it was way more gnarly than that. If you ever read any of those like Grimm's fairy tales and stuff, like the way they killed the witch in Snow White, they
Mm-hmm.
got these metal shoes, threw them in a fireplace until they were burning hot red, and then they put them on her feet and made her dance till she was dead. They didn't do that in the
Oh,
movie. So,
oh.
yeah.
Man, ooh, wee.
Yeah.
So I guess with you saying that, explaining it to me like that, I guess when it comes to everything we see now, it's always two sides to a story. You got the funny, you can handle this story, and then you got the ooh, you better close your eyes
Yeah,
story.
yeah. And I prefer the dark side of things any day of the week, man. Like the real kind of scary, almost like a horror story, but in the fantasy realm, you know. I love that
I
stuff.
see what you're saying. Okay, okay, and that's what make it interesting though, because I've been hearing this a lot. You know, everything don't end in a happy ending.
No.
You know what I'm saying? The good guys don't win all the time, even though we might want them to. They don't win all the
Yeah,
time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, I like how you added that twist to the mermaid. That was super dope. Um, Very interesting. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a better reader, and you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to do better with reading. I'm trying to come out of comic books, and start reading more and stay in the comic books but come out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So because reading helps, like I said, the old school reading is fundamental. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like what I'm saying. But this was interesting. When something interesting hits you, you know what I mean. So um, let me ask you this. Um, you have 4 variant covers to this book.
Yes.
Are there any homage that you're paying in one of these covers? Because one cover kind of reminded me of something. But I was like, no, let me ask him first. So, are there any kind of homage in those covers, variant covers that you could let us know a little bit about, maybe?
Yeah. So every one of the so there's 4 covers total. The main cover that's going to just come with the book that was the original cover is red, where she's kind of emerging from water, and that's
Right.
not really an homage to anything. It's just the image, the main image that I wanted to portray for the book. The other
Yes,
three
sir.
though, every one of them is an homage. So
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah. One of them is an homage to Tank Girl. I don't know if you ever read any Tank Girl comic books, but that was a movie
I
back in the 90s
mm-hmm.
starring Ice T. Yeah, it's good.
I
Um,
remember. I remember.
so that's the black and white one with like the pink text at the top. That's straight up. That's a classic Tank Girl pose from like a classic Tank Girl, comic book. The next one is a nod to Haruki Samura, who's the artist, illustrator, writer for Blade of the Immortal, which is a manga that came out in the early 2000s. I don't know
Okay.
if you've read that one, but it's awesome, it's so good. But I did it kind of in like a modernist kind of pop art feel, like Andy Warhol meets Haruki Samura toss up. I don't know what, it was fun. So That's the
That
Tank Girl one. Yeah.
ain't girl. Okay.
Um,
Then
that's the Hiroki Samuro one. Yeah.
okay.
And then there's the last one is pretty obvious. I mean,
That one.
yeah, yeah. So
That one.
that's her basically cosplaying as Princess Leia from Star Wars,
Uh-huh.
obviously. So she's got the
Uh-huh.
buns of the hair, but they're green because she's a mermaid, you know. So yeah, that one was real fun to
I
draw.
liked it that. I liked it that. That was super dope, man. And I noticed that plus my partner, one of my brothers, we are in a group called the Comic Dudes. Uh Six Element of Hip Hop, Spadenomics Comics, OG Green Lantern, and my partner Carlos, I call him CR from PR. He's a colorist and he's amazing. All my brothers are amazing and they love what you do. My
Cool.
partner OG is in the my partner OG. He's in the comments now. He wanted OG. You had a question about your Rico book, and if he'll type it back in there, I'm gonna ask it because I didn't want to think that I passed him by because he really enjoyed it. But while he do that, I want to ask you about this.
Yeah.
On YouTube, you got two videos. There's two
Yes.
videos. One explaining or giving the start to the Rico, and the other one giving some type of explanation to the reader.
Yeah.
That one about Narita, can you kind of explain how that go? Is that like an introductory to?
Yeah. So that's like a teaser trailer that I
Okay,
came up with for the Kickstarter campaign.
okay,
So I didn't know what to expect when I started doing Kickstarters, but like it's really fun for me because I get to write music too because I'm a musician as well.
oh,
So I get to
okay,
write theme music for it and like kind of set the vibe or tone for whatever's happening for whatever book. And for this one, I was like using like a drum machine, electric organ, and some guitars and drums and all
oh,
kinds of stuff that
okay,
I play. Um,
oh,
but yeah, it's real basic. I'm trying to learn how to do some animation so that I can make my characters move a little bit in those videos and kind of entice
okay,
people to watch them a little more. But it's just kind of to get people excited about the comic book, but not give it all away. Um, but to just kind of set up like what's the main question for it and that kind of thing.
okay.
So it's a teaser reel, you know what I mean, like a trailer, like for a movie, but for a comic book instead. So
Yeah, it was like, cause I didn't know what was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, in the video, the dudes walking up, the water was going. You could see on the reader, and then that look of her was different. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like when you look at that, and then when you go to the story and you see what's on the page, it's you like, and it kind of make you go, and it's like, yo, is that the skin? Is that the silk? And it's like, questions was going through my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
I'm trying to cut, and they go together. But I'm like, okay, which makes you read the story.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Now, just give me a little taste of the Eureka because that it's like you putting a particular message behind it. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes,
Uh, if you don't mind, briefly, if whatever you want to tell, what kind of message is you sending with that one? Because I
So
dug it.
Yuriko is a vampire story based in Korea. Well, it's a Korean vampire. Uh,
Okay.
I I decided to write a book during COVID. I was like, I got an idea for a vampire story. I'm just gonna start writing stuff. So I ended up writing like banged out like 200 pages. It's basically like a little novella, you know.
Mhm.
And it kind of leads up to World War One, and it's real complicated. And there's werewolves, and there's vampires, and there's all kinds of stuff, and you know the Mongol horde taking over Korea, like all this crazy stuff's happening. So I kind of finished with that, and I thought, man, that'd be cool to do like a comic book series that was a supplement to it. So I
Mhm.
decided I'm gonna do 5 comics, Yuriko comics, that fit like this with the book. So things happen in
Okay.
the comic book that don't happen in the book, and things happen in the book that don't happen in the comic, but they all have to do with each other. So you have to read all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because one concept that I'm testing out, I don't know if it'll work or not, but I used to get kind of it was like a pet peeve. You would see someone would write a book, and then they'd make a
Mhm.
graphic novel of that book, and they would kind of
Right.
water it down and dumb it down, and then they would make a movie of the graphic novel, and it was dumbed down and watered down even more. So I thought,
Mhm.
why not make a book, but then also make a graphic novel that's not it's the same characters and it's the same story and everything, but they interlock with each other. It's not just a retelling of what happened. Um, so that's what Yuriko is about. Yuriko is like, I want it to be stark black and white, like noir, old school films, you know what I mean, like black and white films. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted it to be just like kind of creepy and dreary and all the things that the mermaid comic isn't. Because the mermaid comic eventually has a whole lot of humor in it. She meets the fairies and there's cats and stuff and there's all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
stuff happening. You know what I mean? Like if you anytime you got tiny little people flying around with butterfly wings, it's gonna be comical at some point. You know, not to say that there isn't tons of blood and people getting murdered and like getting ripped in half and stuff. That's fun.
Uh-huh.
But Yuriko is my chance to do something very austere, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm really stoked about it. And the next Yuriko book is actually supposed to come out in July. Again with us
Oh,
no comics. So book two is
okay.
coming out. I'm stoked about that one too. So yeah.
So now, now as far basically with Yuriko, you're at book one. So basically, once you got done with book one, then the reader, so you kind of going. So basically, you're taking time for each one without rushing one. Now that you got the stories connecting, is that right?
Kinda, yeah. Well, so
Okay.
with Yuriko, I don't have all five issues written yet. I've got issue two pretty much done. I just need to finish the script for it, and then I have to draw it. With Narita, I'm already up to book six that I've illustrated. So
Really?
yeah, I'm just waiting. They're just in the queue to get released. And Mark over at LKC was like, we could do like a trade paperback, like collected edition thing
Hmm.
of it, like, you know, like a thick book that's all the Narita up to this point.
Hmm.
But he thought that it would be better for me to release them one at a time and say, okay, here's issue one, here's issue two, issue three, so that people can get excited about it and you drum up more of an audience that way over time. And then within,
Hmm.
a year, maybe 2 years, then you've got this collected edition that's like all five or all six or however many I have by then. And that one is
Okay.
slated to be 10 issues. So 10 Narita issues when it's done, five Yuriko issues when that's done, plus a novel. So yeah. But you're right, they're
Cool.
like alternating between each other.
Okay. Okay. I see that because the way you explained it when you did this, it said make them intertwine. So
Yeah.
I know that you have to have time to think about this character with their family, their scenario, they scene they got going on, and then once you get them
Hmm.
to you got somebody speaking to you in the chat too. Uh,
What's up, Dan?
when you get to the next one, same thing. What type of setting do you have to have personally to create that type of material? Because once you get into them, it gets serious. Which, when I say serious, I mean you pay attention to what's going on, to what you have written. So, like, what type of setting, real life, that you have to have for yourself in order to create that, or is it just like nothing? You can just do it because it's been waiting to get out your head.
Well, there's different parts of it, right? You remember how you
Okay.
were asking me if I had a team to work on the book with me, and I don't have a team. It's just me, right? So when I'm writing, like coming up with the plot and all that kind of stuff, I need people to leave me alone, which means telling my
Yeah.
daughter, like, I love you, but please go away. You know what I mean? Like telling my wife, I will do the dishes as soon as I write this down real quick. Please just give me a second, you know. So so that takes a lot of concentration. But then outside of that, then when it comes to actually illustrating it, and you've got the
Hmm.
script all ready to go, um, penciling, I need focus because I need to figure out what the characters are going to look like, what they're going to do, and get that's like the meat of the fruit, right? Then
Yes.
but then when it comes to like inking or coloring, I'm like on automated mode. I don't have to think that much. So I can be in the back of a car while we're driving cross country, or I can be, somewhere else trying to, I don't know. If I'm just hanging out drinking coffee and other people are talking to me, I can interact with them and I can still be working. So once I get to like the inking stage and beyond, I'm like
Hmm.
home free, basically. You know what I'm saying? So.
Okay.
Oh,
Man, you
how do
do.
you buy Yuriko? I have a Gumroad site on naritacomic.com,
Hmm.
and that is going to be where I'm uploading all of my books. You can buy like a PDF version of it. I'm also going to try and put up physical copies once I have some hard copies in my my hands so I can send them out to people. Right now, I don't have a distribution network to be able to put them on stores, but yeah. So my Gumroad, that yep, naritacomic.com. There it is.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, cause OG he into that. You know what I'm saying? He into that. Plus his heritage. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he definitely dig that. You'll probably see us sometime in down the line talking about this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's a big supporter. So we're gonna talk some more. Um, February 14th, Kickstarter. Y'all
Yes.
drop. That's when it hit the stores. That's when it's coming, right?
That's when the campaign launches. So
Okay.
if people jump on board and they want to get a copy, I'll also have the Yuriko book up in the Kickstarter as an add-on. So if you want to get the Narita book, like a physical copy of it, you can add on a Yuriko book, and then that'll come to you in the mail at the same time. So that's the cool thing about doing these Kickstarters too, is that every time I do one, you can stack up, you can put more books, you can add more. If like, oh, I didn't get that last issue, you can just add it right on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm
Yes.
trying to launch them pretty frequently for people. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. I follow you, and I follow. Like I said, I follow you. I hit the button that said all notifications. So anytime you post, I'm gonna see it. So you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm a supporter. I support all the indie creators. As many as y'all I can remember. If I don't, I'm gonna come to your page. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of work that each and every one of y'all put in, whether team or no
Yeah.
team. You putting in the work. You could be laying on the beach. You could be laid up in the bed watching Sports Center. But now you getting it done. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I salute that. Let me ask you this, Mr. Dave, man. What was the biggest challenge for you creating? This two-part question. Yuriko and Narita. What was one of the biggest challenges for you creating those characters, those stories?
The biggest, uh, well, so with the biggest challenge with Narita was that I drew that picture of a little bitty woman with a big ass cat, or a big ass cat with a normal sized woman. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what. And then I had to essentially write a backstory, I come up with something that's going to get us there.
Right.
So that was the hardest thing about creating that character, because I kind of drew
Okay.
it first, and then I said, I don't know what this is. I don't, sure, it's like a brain fart, and then I'm like, okay, sure, let's figure this out. Um, with Yuriko, I had such like a mood in mind of what I wanted it to be, that I really messed around with the setting and the character quite a bit before I ever uh, came to like a this is what it's going to be about. This is what the character's like. This is all the stuff is like solidified, set in stone. But with Yuriko too, it's a real weird thing, because like I don't I'm not real fashionable myself. Like my duds are not great. I wear a t-shirt and jeans pretty much every day if I can. It's not too cold.
Cool.
I mean, so a lot of creators spend time with like, oh, they've got this outfit with this leather band on their arm, and their knuckles are, I don't know, they got all this like hardware and shit. And for me, I mean, obviously, you look at Yuriko, it's just a naked lady wearing a black cloak.
Yeah.
That's it. She's not wearing any
Yeah.
clothes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean,
That part surprised me. The naked part. That surprised me. There's a part in there where she like, what I'm gonna do? And then I'm like, oh, she ain't got no clothes on. I'm like, yo, man, where this story?
yeah,
I'm like, yo, hold on now. Now it's got serious now. Cause I know if I was somewhere without no clothes, no gear, I got to figure out
yeah,
something. The brother got to figure out something. So I can imagine how the mermaid feel. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So it's
yeah,
like that part, like that, you made it. So were you trying to make it more reality? Like even though, like, was you know what I mean?
yeah. Well, with Narita, I mean, logic would dictate that a mermaid who comes out of the ocean and drops trow and is dancing around like with her human legs, why would she take her cloak off and then put pants on? That doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in subsequent comics, she ends up getting kind of like trapped into being a scullery maid for a little while at this place, and they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to auction her off because they figured out that she's unsullied, she's a virgin, right? So they're like, we're gonna sell her to the highest bidder, some nasty old man.
Wow.
But
Wow.
she very quickly puts clothes on. You know what I mean? But it is kind of a, it is kind of a running joke in my household. Like my daughter's always like, how come how come all your characters are women? How come they're always naked? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me.
Oh man, that was a big one for me to see that. Now, let me see. As far as comics in the comic world, pop culture in general,
Mhm.
do you have any favorite characters out there? Any characters out there that inspired you as a youngster to now? I know that the pop culture, is swayed from this way to that way because the big two, what they
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah,
going
yeah,
on,
yeah.
and the movies, and 50% hate them, 50% love them. I'm like, yo, you ruined it for the kids because they don't really know the
Yeah,
stories. Just let
yeah,
them watch it to have fun. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
so many difference of opinions. Who knows who telling the facts? The only time you can find the facts is when you look it up yourself.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Dave, I wanted to ask you this. When it comes to the other comics out there, are there any favorite characters you might have out there or anything like that that may have inspired you a little bit to jump into the creative world of creating comic books and books for people to read?
Absolutely, man. I mean, so obviously, like in the '90s, I was reading a whole lot of like Image Comics when that first dropped, and Jim Lee jumped from X-Men. He started doing Wildcats, and then he picked up Travis Charest as his main artist, and that was like mind blowing. Um,
Hmm.
but then beyond that, I really really like all of Mike Mignola's stuff. You know, the BPRD, Hellboy. All man, that the way that
Yeah,
he
boy.
lays out a page and the way he draws it, just the storytelling, the pacing, the lettering, all of it is perfect. Recently, I uh, I started reading a bunch of Battling Boy stories. So there's like the Fall of the House of West, which is David
Hmm.
Rubin. He's a Spanish illustrator and is written by Paul Pope. I don't know if you've read any Paul Pope. That
I,
guy,
I couldn't tell you. I'm learning who is who and who created what. Like I'm still learning
yeah,
because I
yeah.
dabble in so much. But go ahead. I'm sorry. You
No, no,
got it. Go ahead.
no.
I'm listening.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. Like I'll go to the library because I'm a broke joke and I can't afford to buy all the comic books I want. I'll like vet a comic book. I'll go to the library and I'll get a stack, and I'm like, oh, this comic book is so good. If I ever see it for a deal, I'm buying it for
You
sure.
got to
You know?
get it. Got to get it.
Yeah, or like the day that I finally decided to buy the box set of Akira, like the big, it's like 6 books or whatever, and they're all like huge, thick, awesome printed hardbound.
Hmm.
I was like, man, I'm a grown up. I can buy this comic book. Like I don't have to ask permission from anybody. I got money. I can buy this. It was just like a state of mind that I couldn't get past. But
Hmm.
yeah, so like the old school manga stuff has always been amazing to me. Um,
Always here.
and I don't know, man. Like I never really did follow Spider-Man and Batman and all of the stuff you're supposed to follow as much
Yeah.
as if I did follow like a Batman comic, it would be like Shadow of the Bat, where they're dealing with like issues in the in the ghetto of Gotham, where people are
Hmm.
doing drugs and how Batman's dealing with that and like the psychological stuff behind it. It's not so much like got you, Batman. I'm the Joker. Like that stuff didn't ever float my boat. I wanted the
And
nitty
I
gritty.
like
I
how
wanted
you
the
said.
hard stuff.
I like how you said that when you said that because when you said what we supposed to follow, and I was like that you really opened up a can of worms for me right then because it's like a lot of folks like stuff because a lot of other folks like
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And then when you getting it plastered, McDonald's commercial, Burger King commercial,
yeah,
KB Toy Store, Toys R Us,
yeah,
whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then the shirts and stuff.
yeah.
So it's like it's almost like they making us like them.
It
That's
is, and
what, you know what I mean?
I hate to say that it's sort of a conspiracy. It's not like they're conspiring against us or whatever. Um, but it's the same thing in music. Like, why is
Yeah.
Taylor Swift so popular? Because they wanted her to be popular, because they had billions of dollars to pump into making her popular. And so she is popular. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But that's why. As long as you can recognize why these things are happening, then you can start to like peek under the hood a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like tinker with the engine, see what's happening.
Right.
Like, and then
Right.
that's when
Right.
you get to the real good stuff. So Green
Right.
Lantern, you were asking me to name 5 writers or artists that I admire. All right, let's see. Let's see. Hiroki Samura, Blade of the Immortal. Amazing. Awesome. Great pacing. Everything's wonderful. Let's see. Katsuhiro Otomo from Akira, obviously. That's a good one. Hayao Miyazaki for Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, the original comic book that came out back in the day, not just the movie and all his animation and stuff. That's amazing. Like I said, Mike Mignola is way up there on my list. Um, because he's so steeped in the occult and like Nazi lore and
Hmm.
like weird, crazy fables and things. I'm like, how do you know all this stuff? Again, reading is fundamental. That dude has, I guarantee you, he's got a wall of crazy books about crazy stuff that you and I are like, what? And then lastly, I'd say Paul Pope. And the reason why I say Paul Pope, he did Heavy Liquid, he did Battling Boy, and he's been writing a whole bunch of other stuff. Oh man, I could go on. I thought of another one. But anyway,
Go
yeah,
ahead. Call
Paul
it out.
Pope Paul Pope is amazing in a bunch of different ways. People keep talking about AI art, right? You hear it all the time. Like, oh, is AI art going to ruin things for artists? This, that, and the other. With Paul Pope, there is no way to replicate a brush stroke that is as free in a perspective that is as interesting and varied and not quite right as someone like Paul Pope. It's akin to I don't know if you ever saw the anime Tekken Kincrete. Did you ever see that?
No, no, I haven't.
It's about
No, I
two
have
little
not.
Japanese boys who live in kind of like this weird, messed up part of town that's run by gangsters, and one of them has the power to fly, sorta. But
Hmm.
they're like orphans. They live on the street. They live in a car. Well, it was originally a comic book, and the comic book
Really?
is amazing. Like if you have a chance to check it out, the perspectives and how everything's drawn kind of disjointed and weird, but it all makes sense and it
Tell me the
works.
name of it again. I'm gonna write it down. Writing it down. What is it?
Tekkon Kincrete.
Tech.
Tekkon
EKKON. Concrete.
Kin
Oh,
Kinkrete. I think, and I'll bet if you search it on Google, it'll be like, did you mean
okay.
to spell it like this? Because yeah,
I
it
got
was a real
it written
popular.
down.
It's a great movie, but it's an even better comic. Yeah.
Got it written down. You know, I like to show and prove. I don't want to say I'm just over here act like I'm right. Like here it is right here. You know how some people, oh, let me write that down. Da, da, da. No, here you go right there. Okay. And I know my partner OG, my brother OG, he gonna make sure that I know. He probably already know about it because
Oh
that's
yeah.
he like my dictionary thesaurus brother. You know what I'm saying? When I don't know some, you know what I'm saying, him and my brother Spade, they come with it. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. Okay, you got another. Here go another question for you down here. Let me pin it. Coming from
What do you say?
Iman.
What are your
What are your feelings
feelings
on the?
on
Go ahead.
okay, yeah, right. Yeah, one there less. Okay, so I just read an article about AI because my dad's been bugging me about it, and he's like,
Hmm.
"Son, you're gonna lose your job," and I'm like, "I'm not getting paid hardly at all anyway, so who cares?" But I my take on AI is this: it's a tool that you can use, and people are free to use it. Um, but it's going to be obvious to the reader um, that it was created in that way. I think it's democratizing. So someone who doesn't have any artistic ability and someone who just really doesn't see things that way suddenly has the ability to try and make something of their own and say, hey,
Hmm.
this was in my head. I got it out of my head and I created it using AI. That's all fine and dandy. I think it's what it's going to come down to is the market will be flooded with AI artwork, just like Instagram is right now with all the portraits and stuff. It's just all over the place. Um,
Yes.
It'll be flooded with that to the point where people get sick of it and they'll be like, and I don't care because I've already seen that, and eventually they're going to want to see stuff like Paul Pope. They're going to want to see stuff like Tekken Kincrete. They're going to want to see stuff that is drawn by a human hand, whether it was drawn digitally or it was drawn, on paper. Or that doesn't really matter. But for me, I feel like AI is a tool In the same way that a lot of manga artists will take a photograph of like a footpath through the woods, then they'll just transform it to make it black and white, and boom, that's their background. They won't even illustrate it or trace it or do anything to it at all. So people are already doing that in a lot of comic books. So this is nothing new. But like
Hmm.
I said, if I go to a comic shop, I pick up a book and I flip through it, and it's obviously just a bunch of photographs or stock photos off of Google that they transformed and made black and white, and then they pasted their character on top of it. I'm like, I'm not going to read it.
Hmm.
So that's how I feel about AI. I think it's if somebody wants to try and do it for whatever reason, that yeah, more power to you, man. That's great. But I don't think it's going to detract from us who are trying
Hmm.
to put in the work and do the thing that we're doing. It's like it's a
Right.
subcategory all its own, and the
Okay.
viewers and the readers are going to know the difference.
Right. Okay.
So,
So following that, when it comes to Kickstarter, what are the benefits for the people who don't know that watch this later, ones who are, like I said, are not at the landmark where you at yet.
yeah,
Some still got it in their notebook and they haven't put it on, in ready to read form,
yeah.
stuff like that. Like, what is the importance of Kickstarter to you as far as building, uh, putting your content out there, and the feeling that you get knowing that you about to complete a mission. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? What does that mean to you? Or you know what I mean? Like, break it down to me.
So Kickstarter, I was real hesitant for a long time because I personally, as a person, just do not like asking people for help ever. Like, I don't ask people for money. I don't ask people to help me fix my car when it's broken. I never ask for help. And that's kind of stupid. Sometimes I should ask for help. It would be smart of me. I have friends who are willing to help me with stuff when I need help. Um,
Yes, sir.
so so doing Kickstarter to me at first felt like I'm just begging for money. I'm asking people like, hey, pay me money to do this. And it felt wrong. It felt weird. Um, but after I did the first Kickstarter, I realized that's not at all what Kickstarter is. Kickstarter
Mm.
is twofold. Number one, you're going to fund the project that you should be wanting to do anyway. And I have been doing it for years up until now. Like I said, I'm already on issue
Okay.
6 in Narita, but I'm kickstarting the first issue now. So I'm going to keep making them,
Okay.
whether it funds or not. So there's that. It's not the make it or break it point at all.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
so it funds you to do the thing you want to do, which is encouraging, and it also means like with the Yuriko campaign, I got my comic book into like I don't know, 250 people's hands. Like 250 people saw my comic book that would have not seen my comic book had I not done the Kickstarter campaign. For my first campaign, I feel like that's pretty good. It's cool.
Yeah.
So then the other side of the coin is when you do a Kickstarter campaign, what you're doing is things like this, where you're talking to people and you're shouting about it. And suddenly your megaphone gets a lot bigger because if you don't shout about it, it'll just stagnate. It'll just sit there, right? So it's twofold. It's helping you fund your thing once it actually happens, but it's also promoting the thing all along the path so that you're like putting yourself out there. And every time you do a Kickstarter, every time you launch one of your comic books, you are putting yourself in the forefront of people's minds again, which is hard as we know on social media. It's super hard,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you're getting people to think about what you have going on in your project and see how cool it is and all of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So that's really the benefit of Kickstarter in my mind is the promotional aspect of it because I'm
Okay.
just knocking on doors. It's all I'm doing all the time now to be like, hey, I got this Kickstarter. It's something to talk about. You know what I mean?
Right. 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 So, and also, I want to add to what exactly you're saying. How important is the consistency of yourself? How important is that?
Man, again, like it's a huge mountain. You can't get over it. And it's like I have this idea, it's written in my notebook, but I have to draw the whole thing and somehow get it to
Mm-hmm.
where it's reading ready. Like what? Uh, chip away at it a little bit every day, an hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes, whatever you can do every day. Spend a little bit of time because I also find that um, if you try to like knock out 10 pages in one day, you're gonna burn out, and then the next day you don't have any creative energy to work on the next thing that you need to do, right? So just try and
Mm.
knock out 1 page a day. You know what I mean? That's
Okay. Okay.
for me. That's a workaround that's helped a lot, and it's helped my productivity like exponentially, for real.
Hmm. You got okay. I had a question. So baby, I got 3 questions in a row for you right now. Two from
Okay.
the people. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go with them first. First, OG wanted to ask if someone has ideas and some descriptions, stuff written in a notebook, but doesn't draw or write. What would be a good first step for them?
A good first step for them would be to contact me, and I'll draw it for you. No, no, but seriously, I just finished drawing a book for a guy named Morgan Quaid, who's a writer. He sent me a script,
Okay. Okay.
and I drew some character designs for him, and he said, "Yeah, that looks great." And I said, "Cool, all right." So, and then he gave it was like 23 pages, and I'm finishing up the last page tomorrow. I'm sending it to him, and that's just kind of how that works. You just got to reach out to somebody. Again, with Kickstarter and funding and stuff, um, the the thing about it is like a lot. If you're going to hire an artist or you're going to hire a writer or something like that, you need funding to do it. So your best bet is to find somebody who can do the lion's share of it. Because if you hire like a penciler, and then you hire an inker, then you hire a colorist, and then you hire a letterer, not to take work away from all those people, but each one of them needs to get paid. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
if you hire somebody who can do all of that stuff, it's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be cheaper on your pocketbook. And then with
Mm.
Kickstarter, you can fund it, right? So the best successful thing that I've seen from people who are like what OG was talking about is they will get 6 pages done, right? They'll pay for like 6 pages of a 20-page comic book, right?
Okay.
So even if you end up paying like $150 per page, six, that ends up being like 800, almost like $1,000, right, out of your pocket,
What?
right? I mean,
What?
if you think about it, to do 6 pages, 150 times. So you do that. That's if you have to hire a writer and a colorist and a letterer and an artist and all the stuff, right? That's out of pocket. But then you run a Kickstarter on it, and it looks so badass that it gets funded, right? Which
Okay.
means that you'll get potentially like $4,000 to do the project. That gives you enough money to pay for the rest of the book to get made and
Oh.
to ship out your comics to other people, right? And
Oh.
hopefully you'll end up with a little bit of funds on top, so then you get to do it over again. Then you have the funding to say, okay, cool, I want to hire you guys to do 6 more pages for the next issue, blah 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 blah, and that's how it steamrolls. I do I have a friend who does a comic book called Tights. He doesn't draw
Okay.
it, and I don't think he letters it, and he definitely doesn't color it. He writes it, and he's another LKC guy,
Okay.
and he hires a crew. He hires pencilers and colorists and all the stuff. He has like a team working on it, but he's got to be able to fund that team, and that's why the Kickstarter campaigns come into play. So
Okay. Man. So Kickstarter is a big because you're not the only Kickstarter that I met. Decay Comics, ASAP Imagination, etc. Like a lot of them always push Kickstarters, and especially the people that we meet on the other side of the world,
yeah,
Europe and all Ireland and all that over there, Australia. They use a lot of Kickstarter too. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Which lets me know that we have more independent writers, creators, artists out here, and which we don't have to go to the big two all the time to look for something good to read and check out.
absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely.
Iman says, in the piece, he says, why does your artwork look oriental, but in a really cool way? Or is it that my imagination? So I guess he asking, how did you choose that heritage to work with in this book?
So the Narita book was not intended for anyone to look Asian at all. I think Narita the mermaid herself, she looks a little Asian. Like
Okay.
maybe her mom was Japanese. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? But the that book is going to have a lot more diversity once it moves along into book 2, book 3, book 4. There's like a Southern Kingdom
Mm-hmm.
with you know yeah. So and the fairies are based on the Mayan people that
Okay.
in Central and South America, that I've interacted with a lot in real life. So then, but with Yuriko, the black and white vampire comic, it's set in South Korea, so everybody was Asian.
Right.
Like, especially in like 1900, it's very homogenous. The next book, the next book is the next book is set in Siberia, right? So
Mm.
we're gonna move into like kind of a weird part of Asia where people look slightly different, but they're still gonna look Asian. They're not gonna look like Korean Asians. But that's interesting to me because illustrating different races and ethnicities is a skill set that I've been working on since I was in art school. Like how to draw black
Hmm.
folk versus how to draw a Mexican dude versus how to draw an Asian woman. Like how to draw an old Asian woman and still have her look kind of hot. That's difficult. I had to do that for somebody one time, and it was like this is not easy.
Now, okay, and now that so how long did you go to school for art?
I got a degree. It took me about 5 years to finish my degree. I got a degree in printmaking. So,
Okay.
and actually, a friend of mine and I are starting a small print shop in Austin, printing T-shirts
Ah,
and art prints and posters and stuff like that.
okay,
So that'll be fun.
okay.
That's real hands-on. There's no digital like illustrating on an iPad and like because this is
Ah,
all ethereal. This is happening and you exist in real life, I think, but you could just be a robot. I don't know. You know what I mean?
that's
But
true. That's true. Oh man, that's dope, man. Hey, yo, I really did, you know what I'm saying, how you brought this together. You got a great attitude, man. Let me just say, family man and stuff, and you still I feel like we a lot alike because I still feel like the young dude that I was back
yeah,
then. Like this, you know how some people can be like super funny when they're young, then something happened in their life and they turn into the most serious person ever. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like that. I still feel like I'm the same little kid, the same teenager, adolescent, the same 20-year-old. It's just things around me have changed and I'm having to
yeah,
adapt. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I still had the forgiving heart. I still had the understanding. I still love to meet people. Um, so that's why I jumped right on it when you reached out to me. You know, so I was surprised. So that let me know I'm doing something right on how I approach what I'm doing because I wanted to podcast this way to meet people, network. I mean, hey, I got 2 books. I got 2 digital books out the
yeah,
deal. You know what I'm saying?
man.
So
Yeah,
I can, you know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
My
Like, and
pleasure.
you know what I mean? So, and that was a big and, but the most important part was reading what you sent me so I can be able to ask you the questions that, that make sense.
Yeah,
Because like you said, we're promoting the reader. And then also you sent me the Rico, which is very interesting, you know what I'm saying? And just knowing how the way you built that story and you got more parts coming. And then you've already progressed so well with the reader because you got stuff, you putting this one out, but you got more stuff already coming.
yeah.
So what is your main ingredients doing what you do as far as not quitting, not stopping? Like, what is your inspiration? You know what I'm saying? Like for the whole blase. What is Mr. Dave's inspiration for writing, creating, Kickstarter, promoting himself?
I,
This right here.
I think part of it is out of like desperation because I don't know if you've ever worked hard construction, but it's hard. They call it hard construction for a reason. I mean,
Yes, sir.
when you have to dig a hole underneath the foundation of a house to get to a pipe to cut it with a sawzall, and you might cut your arm, and you have to like, you know, or you're wiring some electrical stuff, and you got 150 amps coming through this box, and you shock yourself, and you get stuck to the box, and somebody has to tackle you off of it. Or you're on a ladder, but the ladder's kind of janky because you forgot yours, but the contractor had his there, and the ladder breaks, and you're 20 feet in the air. Or
Mm,
you're nailing stuff with a nail gun, and something happens, and it goes weird, and the nail just shoots right through your hand instead of into the wood.
mm,
All of
mm.
those things have happened to me, and I was realizing, like, this is not for me. Man, I can do other things. I can be creative. I think I can make a go of it. And does it pay as well as being a carpenter? No, but it does. Uh, it's just one of those things where it's like do or die. I could see myself slowly getting chiseled away if I kept being a carpenter, if I kept working, doing construction, fixing people's houses, digging ditches, and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, no, whatever I have left of me, because I'm getting old, I'm like pushing 40. Whatever I have left of me, I want to put that into doing something creative, because building houses is not. It's like the whole point is to make it look like you were never there, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? So that's one of the main things I keep in the back of my mind. I'm like, it's either this or go back to swinging the hammer. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so that's one of your biggest goals, not just for this year, but in life.
In life. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
In life. Okay. Okay. Uh, Dynamite, Dynamite 139 says, I have an indie creator meetup in Austin happening February 3rd if you're interested in joining
I am interested.
us.
I am interested. Dan, this is Dan from
Okay.
Bigfoot Knows Karate. Do you know that book?
No,
He's another.
no, I don't think so. He's another one.
He's an indie creator who puts out like amazing stuff. He's been doing it much longer than me, well versed. So yes, Dan.
Okay.
I will absolutely show up to indie creator meetup and act a fool and make everybody uncomfortable. It's gonna be great. You just wait.
And BDE Peel says he's a carpenter too. So I know he feel what you talking about.
Yeah.
Ooh. And when you say and then
look, they're all there. I didn't lose any of them.
Because when you said that you went through all that stuff that you explained, and it's like, yo, man, the higher power got you here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo.
I like to think that, but I don't know. I'm just trying to put in work to stay away from doing that because, man. Yes, I could build you a 2-story house from scratch right now if you needed me to, almost anywhere in the lower 48 states. But do I want to? That's the question. Would I rather be drawing naked mermaids? Yes, the answer is yes.
Yes. oh man, that's dope, man. Hey man, that's cool, man. I am impressed, Mr. Dave. You have interesting stories. You got a great attitude, man, positive mind, you know what I'm saying? You just it sound like, look like, you know what you want, you know what I mean, in life. So and you grew up in Texas your whole life?
Yeah, born and raised in Austin, Texas.
Okay. And as far as that goes, I always have to ask, like how the last 10 years, you know what I'm saying, have things changed a lot so much? Like what has, because I know we kind of come from the same era, 80s raised.
Yeah.
Hold on, 80s born, 90s raised.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, coming from, man to man, father to father, you know what I'm saying? What's been some of the biggest changes for you in these eras that we are coming abroad? What's been some stuff for you that just are like, damn, these people are crazy, stupid. Let me get back to writing, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if you have a boy or a girl, but I've got a 14-year-old daughter.
22-year-old daughter. I'm with you.
Okay, so 22, you're almost out of the woods, right? 14 right now.
That's
all the stuff that's going on. It's like, I don't understand you at all. But I just try and lay back and try and just respond to every question as honestly as I can. And if I can't respond honestly, just lie to her about everything. That's my policy.
Right.
But in the last 10 years have been really kind of steady Eddie for me because
gotcha.
the raising the kid up to this point, she's almost into high school, and then she'll be out after that. My wife and I are in a band together, and I play music. I'm like three bands because I'm from Austin, so why not? Because everybody in Austin's from
right.
But so the last 10 years was kind of weird because before we had a kid, we were on tour all the time with the band. We were putting out records. We were traveling all over the place, playing shows, living in the van, being just like kind of a rock and roll dude.
Yes.
Then we had a kid, and we were like, oh, we better tighten the reins a little bit. So we've been playing music. We still play music. We got an album coming out in May
Mm,
that I'm real excited about. But the it's been kind of like on an even keel, right? For the last 10 years, I've kind of been in my shell, like incubating, thinking about
okay.
stuff, writing things down, but not getting them out into the world. So this is the first. This is the end of that era that you're talking about, where I'm finally
Yes,
going,
sir.
okay, I'm gonna bust this snail shell wide open. I'm gonna I'm gonna start making artwork. I'm gonna start. I want to draw comic books. I want to play guitar all the time. I want to play drums all the time. I want to do all of the creative stuff that I can because, that era. I'm done with it. I don't want to just keep a roof over my head. I don't want to just struggle all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
Understood. That's very understandable. Okay. Okay. I had to ask you that because
yeah,
you are human. You know what I'm saying? And even though you create this material and you nonstop creating it, you still is a living person. You still gotta eat, drink, sleep, use the bathroom, take care. You still gotta do all that.
yeah,
So I always like to ask just a little bit, you know what I mean, of life for the real person. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because I don't ever want a guest to misinterpret me. You know what I'm saying? You're a person first. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You're human first, and family and things of that nature, health, all that. So I always like to let people know I care too. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always wanted to ask. And I get inspired because sometimes I get down with doing what I'm doing, feeling like I'm not given a chance. But then somebody like you reach out, and then I skyrocket. I go right back up because it's like I'm doing what I like, doing what I love, and this don't feel like a job. You know what I'm saying? I want to make it my job
Yeah.
because I'm tired of the job I'm doing. You okay? Everything good? Oh, we got a little technical problem. We'll be right back. I know it's coming back. We're gonna get into the bonus round. I'm still here. Don't y'all go nowhere. He just got a refund. Y'all know how I do in the circle. Y'all know how I do in the circle. We still here. What's up, Mila? Pendorio? I'm still here. Got a little connection problem. We all right? Hold on. Let me get him back. Don't y'all go nowhere. Let me get him back. We're gonna get into the bonus round. Don't y'all go nowhere. Y'all know the bonus round. Come on back. Here we go. Mm-mm. A little connection problem. We all good though. We all good though. You know what I'm saying? Probably a little rain, a little thunderstorm trying to drop in somewhere. We all good though. Y'all just hold on. All right, hold on. Cause I want to get this bonus round in. Cause I want y'all to play some. No, we ain't said nothing wrong. Iman. We ain't said nothing wrong. We ain't said nothing. We ain't said nothing. Have a little connection problem. What's up, Lauren? Yeah, we was right there. We was right there at it. We was right there at it. We was right there at it. Come on, God. Come on, high power. Let's bring her out of the back. Come on, man. Take the win and let's get this done. Ah, I know, Iman. What's up, Mel B? What's up, Mel B? LLA in the house. You know what I'm saying? We talking with Narita comic. We got pretty much through it. We was finna get to the bonus round, and we had a connection problem. You know what I mean? Hopefully, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna send it again. Or Narita, you can send me the invite if you want to, and I'll try to get you in there. I sure hate. Gotta have faith. But I wanted to do this bonus round because I had a good one for him. You know what I'm saying? So he probably, yeah, hopefully, he getting in a better. He probably found it. There we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Mel B. L. A. You already know. I wanted to do this bonus round. Man, I want to do this bonus round. So please, people, Kickstarter. Y'all check out February 14th. The Reader comic is dropping. The Reader. You know what I'm saying? to everybody that was able to join for a little bit, for a little while. Those who stuck around, you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all as well. Um, let me for some reason can't get it back. I'm gonna keep on trying. But lesser known comics. If you don't know about lesser known comics, independent company that's helping the independent people drop their books. You know what I'm saying? Um, I see you, OG. You know what I mean? Mr. David, the writer of comic. Also check out Yuriko. Very great stories. Dealing with Narita's dealing with the mermaid culture. So y'all check that out. I wanted to get him back in here to do the bonus round, but it's looking like, thanks again, sound like this stuff. Oh, it's all right, Narita. It's all right, man. Don't worry about it. That wasn't our fault. We got in the most part of the information that we need to know. You know what I'm saying? So Narita, while you're there, uh, please type in where to find you at to people who want to check out your books and check out other books from lesser known comics. Please drop that down there so I can tag it and show a few people, you know what I'm saying, that are interested in it, if you don't mind. Okay, send you an invite. Okay, I think we got it. I think we back, y'all. Here we go. Mel B stuck around for a little while. I see you, Mel B. It's always cool to have homegirl in there, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chef and Brims, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Riff Raff Crew. Shout out to Comic
Oh,
Dudes. There you
I'm
go.
back.
Woo,
Sorry
woo,
about that. I don't
good,
know
good,
what
good.
happened, man.
Man, you know how they do us. Do you know how they do
Yeah.
us? All right. So we're gonna get into this bonus round, man. You already know my this and that. You know what I'm saying? I made a special one for you. So it's like this should be fun. Uh Basically, you know, I say two things, pick which one you like the best.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't like neither, if you like both, whatever. If you want to elaborate, you can. If you don't, we're going to the next one. People in the chat, please play along. We want to see your answers too. All right, here we go. So, in color or black and white?
Ooh, black and white.
Okay, okay. Hero or anti-hero?
Anti-hero.
Okay. Any reason why?
I mean, the hero archetype is sometimes a little too transparent for me. It's a little too vanilla, as it were. The
Okay.
anti-hero is like, like John Constantine or something, where he's like, I don't really want to help
Ah,
you, but I'm gonna help you because I'm gonna help you, but I don't really want to, but I will. You know what I mean? It's just so much more fascinating.
okay, okay. Thank you, Mayor. Uh, Drama or fantasy?
Ooh, 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 that's weird. That's a weird question, man. That's apples and oranges. Uh,
Yeah.
I have to choose. I guess fantasy.
Okay, okay.
Oh, oh, drama from Mel B 113. I see. Yeah, both is it's kind of a cop out, but that's fine. That's okay. Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say both, but I want to be decisive in this world, you know?
Okay. All right. Um, Zombies or vampires?
Oh, well, uh, zombie vampires, which will be in my
Okay.
next, which will be in my next installment of Yuriko. There's gonna be
Ah,
some vampire zombies who get bitten and kind of turn, but they don't know it, and they're like half dead, their throats ripped out, and they come back to life, and then they catch on fire. It's gonna be cool. So yeah.
okay, okay. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Um. Well, man, this is a tough one because my uncles and my dad, they're all Trekkies, but my mom's side of the family is all Star Wars. So like,
Mm.
there's forces at work that are like competing against each other inside my soul, and I do feel like
Okay.
Star Trek is a little bit more like it's good. It's just good all the way through. But Star Wars has gotten some parts lately where I'm kind of like, hey, Jar Jar Binks wasn't that great. Like that was not okay with me.
Okay. Okay. I'm an old school dude, so I'm a Star Trek. I'm a Trekkie. That's me. I'm a Captain Kirk. dude. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Stalking them. You know what I mean? Now, I ain't gonna lie. Jordy and Data and all them and Wharf and all them. I enjoyed them too. Now that was a
Yeah,
good one too.
yeah,
Picard,
yeah.
Striker, uh, Iron Man or Cap?
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, in your world, which one do you enjoy better, reading or writing?
Ooh. Re- well, we'll see. Writing. I think I enjoy writing more than I enjoy reading. I
Okay.
really, really enjoy reading though. So that's
Okay.
kind of weird to say, but yeah, I like writing.
Okay.
It's fun.
Okay.
What's up, Trevor?
Um, and just this a question for me. I'm asking your advice. For somebody who like to read something, they like the cover, but when they but like me, my mind don't stay on the page. What should I do to help that myself? For me, so asking for me.
It depends on what you're reading. Like if you're reading something, Marvel or DC, that's tough. DC definitely. If I'm so old school. Uh, I'm if I'm reading something that's kind of dry, if you read it out loud, sometimes it'll help you focus on it. If I'm
Oh,
reading something that's like candy, sometimes I'll kind of like fuzz out, just because I haven't been it just there's not enough there to like keep my attention to something. I'll like stand up and walk around while I read. You know what I mean? So
okay,
pacing around,
okay,
active movement. Because if you're just sitting there curled in a ball or sitting on the couch being lazy and reading, sometimes your mind will start to wander. But
yes, okay. I'm gonna take your advice. Okay. Oh, next one. Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Batman. Yeah, I like Batman too. I'm Batman. Um, since you're a Texas native, fishing or barbecuing?
Oh, barbecuing. Because I can't go on open
Barbecue.
water, man. I just chum the water. I barf every time I get on a boat in open water. It's so landlocked. It's awful. And I try, man. I go out there. My dad wants to go fishing. He's like, "We're gonna go on the boat, son." And go on. I'm like, "Okay, cool." Go out there, and I'm just like puking everywhere. It's terrible. So,
I'm with you, man.
yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Are you a day person or are you a night
Ooh.
person?
Well, I'm I've recently turned into an old man, so I'm a day person. I'm like an early morning person. I'm like up at 5, no one's awake. I got free time, totally quiet. Dog's still asleep,
Yep.
cat's still asleep, and I can just draw, listen to my music. Yeah,
Early
that's me.
bird. Okay. Are you an introvert or extrovert?
Uh, I guess I'm technically an extrovert because I perform music on a stage in front of people, and I don't have a problem with that. But I don't know. I like for people to kind of leave me alone, you know.
True. True.
So
I
I
feel
don't
you
know.
on that. When you want your space, you want it, but when you welcome people, you let them know they welcome.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
that's where the music come in. Okay. Okay. Uh, you a city boy or a country boy?
I thought I was a city boy until I recently just went backpacking with my dad and a friend of his, another old man. And man, if I start sitting around with people, from Texas, especially older dudes, I instantly start talking like a Texan, and we're hanging out, and it sounds like we're in the country, and it gets real bad real fast, and I'm like, oh, no, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I grew up in the city, so there's that. But
Oh, that was a good one. Hey, you sure brought it out too. You sure brought it out. I heard the country then. You made Alabama. I was like, hey, hold on. He
yeah,
from the South.
yeah.
I heard that.
Well, I can turn
Okay.
it on. I can
Uh,
turn it on whenever I'm near a border patrol agent. And they
uh,
like search the
uh,
cars to make sure I'm not smuggling somebody across the border. I'm like, hey there, boy. No, man, we're heading back into town. It's the only way to convince them because otherwise I look terrible. They're like, just arrest this guy. He looks so bad.
oh man, that was a good one. I like it. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. Um. Which one is better to work off of, logic or emotion?
I say logic because working off of emotion. Are you talking about storytelling and stuff, or are you talking about just in life?
Just in life.
Just in life, I say logic. If you're feeling real
Okay.
emotional, I found with my experience, limited experience, that you should take a deep breath, back off for a little while,
Yes,
and then look
sir.
at it again and see what's going on, and you'll definitely come out with a better result.
Okay. Okay. Now, how about when it comes to stories? Are you more of a mystery person or an adventure?
Adventure,
Adventure. Okay.
for sure.
Which one would you rather have? If you had a power, would you want to pause time and fix something, or would you want to rewind time and fix something?
What was the first one? You want to do what the time?
If pause or
Oh,
rewind,
pause
if you had that power to fix or stop something or whatever, would you want to pause time or would you want to rewind
I
time?
want to rewind time because if you can just pause it, you have to be able to recognize that something's going wrong and stop it at that point in time. Whereas if you can rewind
Okay.
it, you can go back over and over again until you get it right. But then I'd probably just be
Okay.
rewinding time until I was dead. You know what I'm saying? I
See
just
what I'm
keep going
saying? I
back.
think that's crazy. Okay. Which one do you think is stronger? What you done created and doing stuff, life, regret or doubt?
Ooh, I think for me personally, uh, doubt can be stronger because it can Mobius or Kirby. I like that. Um, I think that doubt can cripple you. It can stop you dead in your tracks. You know what I mean? Whereas regret at some point in time, that's just in the past. And since I cannot rewind time, you just have to let it go. Whatever it is,
True.
eventually you say, hey, I can't do anything about that. That's gone. It's back there.
True.
Whereas um, doubt, if you doubt that you're going to be able to do something in the future, that can just destroy you. It can stop you dead cold without you ever moving forward. You know what I mean?
True.
Excellent
True. Okay.
question, sir. Excellent.
Thank you. Which one's stronger to you, words or actions?
Actions.
Actions.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I know you said you went backpacking a little while ago, so I just couldn't help but to ask this one. Are you more of a camper or are you more of a hiker?
Hmm. I I only went backpacking. We did like these crazy hikes that were like 15 miles long, and I was kind of packing in all of our stuff and water and everything. But that's just because my dad's getting old,
Yes, sir.
and it's gonna be very soon. He's not gonna be able to do those kind of trips anymore. But me personally, string up a hammock and let's chill out in the same spot, buy some water for like 5 days, drink a bunch of whiskey, write comic books, and yeah, that's what I'm about. So camper, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay. Uh, you feel better with growth or do you feel better with security?
Oh, I feel better with security. I'm real.
Okay.
I'm a real conservative about like spending money and stuff. I'm like, oh, don't buy those Cheetos. They're too expensive. We could save that, and then we could buy a whole chicken later. I'm a dork, dude. My daughter can't stand it. She's like, buy the cool thing. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Because what if I run out of money right now and I don't have it later? She's like,
Exactly. See what I'm saying? Okay. Uh, would you rather hear the painful truth or a comforting lie?
ooh, that's it. Well, I feel like I already know the painful truth, so just lie to me. It's fine, because I already know. I already know it's terrible. Just lie to me. That's way better.
Now, what if I had this? Hold on. What? No. Okay. Now let me turn it around like this. What if I said, would you rather have honesty from the world or kindness from the
Ooh,
world?
honesty. Yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
that's the opposite question. The opposite answer to your
Okay.
question. Yes. Yeah.
We taught each other something because I was trying to figure out a different way to ask that one. So I added them extra. I found some extra words: the painful part and the comforting part,
Yeah.
which you could also say the ugly truth and a pretty little lie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
like, but words, but then say that, and then that kind of go back to the words and actions, cause like them words were stronger, you know what I mean, than the
Uh.
other words. So it's like, but anyway, you answered just right. Uh, which one better suits you, man? Would you rather live life with success, or would you rather live the rest of your life with happiness?
Happiness, for sure.
Happiness. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not really concerned with whether or not I'm like a household name by the time I die. I'm really not. I'd rather be
Understood.
happy.
Understood.
I'd rather be happy till I die, for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Uh, hmm. You know, I know you like adventure and the stories and stuff, so this one might be interesting. Would you rather see the future or change the past?
Well, based on my my deep, deep, you know, thoughts
Mm-hmm.
about the movie Back to the Future,
Mm-hmm.
I think I would rather change the past because then I could get rich. You know what I'm saying? Very easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very. Okay. Hmm. So, would you want to be the smartest person ever in the world, or would you rather be the richest person ever in the world?
I think the smartest person, because people will leave you alone
Hmm.
and be like, "This guy's a smart ass," and they just you won't have any friends. You'll just be all by yourself, and then you can write comic books all day. Whereas if you're the richest
Okay.
person in the world, like Elon Musk, everybody's crawling all over you, want to know what you're doing, what you're saying, blah 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 blah, all the time. So,
Okay. And I understand that all the way. Okay. We get down to the last three. Eureka God dog, yeah, I'm saying it good for or Ner, Narita.
Narita,
Yes.
Yuriko, or Narita. Man, why are you gonna
Eureka
make me
or
choose, man?
Narita.
Don't do that to
I
me.
couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I couldn't
Okay,
help it.
both. You said
I,
I could say both,
I,
so both.
yep, yep, yep. Okay, okay. I had to. I just couldn't help it. I had to.
Apples or
Uh,
oranges?
would Would you rather have the ultimate confidence, or would you rather have the ultimate awareness?
Ooh, confidence or awareness.
And why?
Huh. I guess uh, I'd I'd rather be blindly confident and stride through the world than be aware of all the scary stuff out there. Because okay, so perfect example. When my wife was pregnant, um,
Hmm.
I I started looking into all the different things that could go wrong with the baby being born,
Yes, sir.
birth defects, all the serious stuff that can happen, and it's unexplained. No one knows why. So it's all just like luck of the draw.
Yes,
And I feel like I overeducated myself and I freaked out and it just caused more stress and it was not healthy for me. So I had all this awareness of all these things that were completely out of my control and that I don't think that was healthy at all. So having that much awareness of everything all at once,
sir. Hmm.
whew, be like Michelle Yeoh in that movie, everything everywhere all at once, man. That
Okay. And I never had to explain to me like that. Everybody answer always different with that one, so I enjoy hearing that answer, and it make perfect sense. Make perfect sense. Having the ultimate confidence is more of you not being not just scared or frightened, but just aware of any. I mean, yeah. See, being ultra confident also. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I answered my own question. Okay. Uh, oh man, this has been great, man. By the way, last one from the world. From here on out, what suits you better, respect or loyalty?
Respect.
Respect. Tell me
Because
why.
um, people can be loyal to a fault. And they can be loyal
Yes,
for
sir.
all different reasons, and some of them are not positive reasons. Some of them are not. Some of them are altruistic. Some of them
Hmm.
are self-serving. At the end of the day, right?
Yes, sir.
Loyalty can be false, but respect is respect. Either someone respects you or they don't respect you. You know what I mean? And how you come to gaining the respect of someone is circumstantial, but once you have that respect from them, I feel like it's very important for me personally to hold on to the respect of someone. So I will try my best to do right by whoever it is to make sure that I do not lose their respect once I have it. So yeah, respect is
Yes,
much
sir.
more important.
Okay. Okay. And yo man, that was my bonus round, man. I hope you enjoyed them questions, man. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? I tried to keep it in the right realm, you know what I'm saying? I like to have some that match what you do as far as the reading and the writing and the creating the books. Then, I ain't really see nothing much more about sports and stuff like that, so I left that out. So I could tell that when it comes to the pop culture, you know about it, you in it, and if you ain't in it, you at least know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then, the truth to the heart questions, that's just stuff that's your moral code. Every man and woman got to have a code, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's like you got something that you believe in, which make you understand confidence, awareness, loyalty, respect, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Love, fear, just, and all that also can go together in the stories that you write. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Absolutely.
The type of and the type of stories that you've written. Now that I think about it, shout out Six Element. Um, it, it's a story inside the story. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like the scenario that you created with the mermaid. It's like I can see things like that going on out here now in
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
words. The stuff that's going on in Rico, stuff like that going on out here now in so many words. Maybe the pictures is different, the people is different, the heritage is different, but it's that message that it's going on out there.
Yeah.
People fighting for what they believe in. People looking for something that belongs to them that somebody else done took. People putting spells on you. Little thieves, little dirty dudes. They out here, especially little dirty dudes. It's a lot of them out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of them out here, man. But
Yeah.
also, go
I
ahead.
asked, I asked, I got asked that a lot about Yuriko when I was doing that campaign. People were like, "So, it's set in Korea. Have you ever been to Korea? Why Korea? And do you feel like you're appropriating a culture?" And I was like, "No, I don't feel like it's cultural appropriation because the the human experience is just that. It's the experience of all humans, and it doesn't matter where you're from, right? If you write a good story, or at least I'm trying to write a good story, that can be universal. Anyone can connect to it. It doesn't matter where you're from, um, or what your ethnicity is, your background, your nationality, your religion, any of that stuff. These stories are meant to be overarching. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm striving for. I don't know if I'll hit that goal, but I like to believe that it is kind of what you were describing.
Yes, sir. I believe you will hit that goal because I seen it. You know what I'm saying? It's some things that you said earlier when we was talking and looking at that what you sent me. And then once I started scrolling, I'm like, oh, I got the pages. So I started looking
Yeah,
and it's just, I saw it. I see it. It's not that I was looking for it. It's just, wow. He actually added that in there in a way to where if you don't pay attention, you will miss
yeah,
it. You know what I'm saying? And I paid attention. I want to say I'm impressed, man. Uh, Thank you and appreciate you reaching out to me
yeah.
for us to talk about your book for a little while. I hope I didn't hold you too
No,
long, you
no,
know what I'm saying?
no.
But okay, you know what I'm saying? And I don't like to rush answers, so I like for people to elaborate. I try to ask my question fast, just you know what I mean, but I don't want the answer fast. Take your time, speak. You know what I mean? Because everybody got time limits and stuff. So, but you are a great guest. I'll put
Oh,
www.narrator.com in the pinned comments. And I basically that's what I'm getting to now. Please let people know where to find you and your book at or your books. Anything like platform is yours. Let people know what's up with Lesser Known Comics, Kickstarter.
yeah.
Do your commercial.
So, so there's in my bio on Instagram. There's a link to my Kickstarter. You could also follow me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. It's at Narita Comic. And actually, the website is
Okay.
www.naritacomic.com.
Let me
Um,
change it. Let me change.
and yeah, so I've got links there to the Kickstarter as well. Just sends you to like a link tree so you can check out any of my stuff, including Gumroad, which is where I'm going to be putting out comic books to be purchased. Like if you want to buy a PDF for like $5, or you want to buy a physical copy from me and have me shipped to you, that kind of thing, or commission me. Gumroad is really good for that too. Like you said earlier, if anybody's looking for an artist, I'll draw it. I'll draw it. I'm cheap and I'm fast. And
I like
yeah,
that. I like that. So, let me ask you something, man. Now, just this is all you saying that. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do something different with my logo for my podcast. Maybe I DM you and get you to help me with that. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you let me know the fee and all this and all that. But yeah, I would just so let me just go ahead and throw that in the universe
Yeah.
now. I need some help with my logo.
Yeah.
So let me but okay, so we'll DM talk about that. But please, everyone, follow the instructions. You know what I'm saying? One more time, Mr. Dave, lesser known comics, Narada Comic, www.naradacomic.com. Also, Gum what? What you call it? Gum what?
Gumroad.
Gumroad. Check out Gumroad because it's in the link tree.
Yeah.
Go to his page. You
Yeah.
follow him. Watching this now later. And you go to the link tree. Facebook, Twitter, Gumroad, Kickstarter, Instagram, and I think I'm missing one. Ain't
Yeah.
somewhere else they can find you?
Yeah. Global Comics.
Global
So
Comics. Okay.
Global Comics. I've got a preview up. It's the first 6 pages of Narita is up there right now. So you can go
Okay.
and check it out and be like, "Ooh, that's cool. What's going to happen next?" And then you can back to Kickstarter.
Okay.
So yeah, Global
Okay.
Comics.
And also, Mr. Dave, I want you to know that my brother Six Element that popped in, he does a show on Wednesdays just on indie comics.
Okay.
I'm going to reach out to
Yes.
him to reach out to you
Yes.
so you can be a guest on his YouTube show, and he can pull the pictures up on there and all that. You know what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
show some stuff. So be looking through your DM soon between now and by the end of the night. Somebody gonna be hitting you up. Name Six Element and dot this because that's the type of dude I am. I like to share. I share information with my brothers and they share it back. So
I appreciate
yo
you, man.
man, I want to.
Thank you.
Hey man, I appreciate you too. You reached out to me. Hey man, when I seen that, I was like, oh man, cuz bro reached out to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I got to do my part, and I'm gonna continue to do my part, Mr. Dave, man, because I respect you, man.
Thank you.
Great dude, first impression. The stuff is dope. Like I said, you sent it, reading on it, and I'm definitely keep in touch. And hopefully maybe Lord will, 6 months down the line, uh, we'll be doing this
Yeah,
again. You'll probably be
absolutely.
on you'll probably be on the third, fourth issue of the Rider. You probably get ready to drop something else. So it's like, yo, man, I say, you know what I'm saying? I can't do nothing but be excited and just say thank you, man. And you know, I wish you nothing but blessings and nothing but positive vibes on your path to your goal.
Thank you,
You know what I'm saying?
man.
Not
I
dream,
appreciate it.
not dream, but your goal. Because
Goal.
we wake up from dreams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I reached your goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Thanks to my brothers out there for tuning in and sisters out there for tuning in. The people that follow Mr. David, thank you for tuning in. We all enjoy your support. Mr. David, man, once again, man, last word, I just want to say thank you. And if there's any positive vibes, any positive message that you would like to let an early rider, a rookie rider, somebody who ain't maybe believing in themselves because they don't think they're good enough, what would you tell them? And what would your advice be to me to put me in the group too, to stay consistent with what you're doing?
Uh, uh, Again, it's just do a little bit every day. Chip away at it. Don't try and take big bites out of it. You know what I mean? Like chew your food. You know what I mean? Three
I
square
know.
meals a day. Some old man advice, but it's true. You know, don't get overwhelmed. Just try and do a little bit every day. You don't have to do all of it all at once. You know what I mean? Because it's a
You're
lot.
right.
So
You're right.
that's my advice. Yeah.
You're right, man. You sure right. When you said chew your food, that says so many things,
Yeah.
man. So much I swear, man. And you know what's funny? Before we go, if I was to say that to somebody that's 14 or 15 or 16, they'd be like, I am chewing my food. What are you talking about? You don't even get
Yeah.
it.
No.
Oh man, but yo, hey Mr. Day, I know you got things to do. I mean we talked you got things to do later on today, so I'm gonna let you go, man. Once again, thank you for the time that you gave me, bro, man, Mr. Day, man. With much love to you and your family,
Thank you, man.
to the Kickstarter team, to the lesser known comics team. I follow. Hey, let me ask you this one last. Do lesser known comics? Do they have any type of Instagram page, Twitter page, Facebook page?
Yeah. So uh, they have lesser known comics. It's just at lesser known comics is their Instagram, and then lesser K comics on Twitter. So
That's why I couldn't find
yeah,
them. Okay, okay. Lesser
yeah,
K comments. I'm just typing in the whole word, thinking it'll pop up and look. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. All right. Well, yo, man. Thank you for the information. Thank you for your work. Man, I hope you have a blessed day for the rest of the day. And
you
have
too,
fun. 'Cause
you
I know
too.
you got some stuff
Yeah,
going. And let's keep in touch, man. Keep in touch when
absolutely.
something new come out. If you post it, like I said, I'm watching, but tag me, please,
Yeah,
still. And
I will.
hey, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Thank you, man, for the
Yeah,
opportunity.
I
You know what
appreciate
I
it.
mean?
All right,
All right,
man.
Mr. Day, the Rider Comic, y'all.
All right, take it easy.
Yes, sir. You too, man.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. You know what I'm saying? OG, I'm gonna be hollering at you behind the scenes. Six Element, that's another one. So make sure you reach out. You know what I'm saying? Get that right. Shout out to the comic dudes, Spade Anonymous, see y'all from PR. Shout out to the Riff Rail Squad. You know what I mean? Full blast radio playing in the background. You know what I mean? Much love to everybody out there. East Coast, West Coast, South, North, worldwide, Midwest, ASAP Imagination, over there on the other side, Australia, my mama. You know what I'm saying? Much love, everybody. Crazy Vision Comics. Peace. Much love to you. I know you're going to be on the show with Six Element. So, everybody, see my face, right? Stay blessed. Peace.